His blessing and guidance on our. Miss Reed, are you here? If you are, you can unmute.
Hi. You're hearing me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Wherever you are, let's just bow our heads a prayer. Father, we want to thank you for another day. We want to thank you for bringing us back safely, back to school. As we go throughout the meeting, we ask for your guidance. We ask for your leading. As we go throughout the year and the term, we ask for your guidance. We ask for your protection and we ask for your strength. Guide us, keep us, protect us all, teachers, administrators, parents, and students. In your name, precious name, amen.
You're muted, Mrs. Martin.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss Reed, for that. Just to introduce to us and make known that we at grade, we came over with the same form teachers, Miss Reed, who is in charge of 10A for form teacher. We have 2 new additions to our team. In at 10B, Mr. Chambers has gone off on vacation leave. So we have Miss Salmon, and she is an English teacher. Many of you may know her, but she will join us this year and be a part of our team. Very capable young lady. So we ask for your support. So all of those parents and students who would have been accustomed to Mr. Chambers last year, please note, and you would have known by now, that your form teacher for this year will be Miss Salmon. Miss Smith Anderson for 10C remains in place. Mr. Gooden for 10D. And at 10E, Mr. Burke has also gone off on vacation leave. So we have Miss McKnight. She is with us. So she has joined the team. So we have two new form teachers for this year. That's 10E and 10B. Mr. Greenley remains with us at 11F, and Miss Powell at 11G, Mr. Willis at 11H, and Miss Smith at 11I. So that information was posted in our group, and I wanted to pay keen attention to them. Please note that these groups will be changed from 10 to 11. All right, last school year, we had about 315 students. I don't know whether all of them will join us back this term. We really hope so, but further on during the term, we will know that. I want to welcome not only the parents, but also the students who may be online, and of course our teachers who will be here to guide us through the rest of the academic year. Now, grade 11 is an important year, and this is the year that will show up how much we did and how much we made opportunities of what we would have learned in grade 10. Now, many of you, we had the issue with the attendance online, and many students did not participate fully in their classes. But this year, we cannot make that mistake. And therefore, parents, I am going to call upon you to be more vigilant in the supervision of our students, provide them with the devices, and also see to it that they use the device for classes. There are methods. There are a few parents who are in classrooms with the students. You can log in and vet what they are doing. So you will get notification as to the assignments that would have been sent out by their teachers, whatever communication is there, so that you can follow up and give them a reminder of the assignments that they need to do. This year, we cannot drop the ball. We will practically have 7 months when we take out holidays. And we hope that the situation gets better, so at least we can have some face-to-face classes. If that does not hold up, it means that we have to be extremely responsible, and we have to make sure that we encourage the students to stick to the task and work with the teachers in order for us to finish this academic year successfully. All right. So with that said, I am going to ask, there has been condolences. So while we were off, some of our parents would have lost friends, they would have lost family members, and we extend our condolences to you as a school family, also to our teachers, and we pray that, you know, the Lord will keep you and guide you and give you all the strength that you need to move forward. All right, congratulations. We congratulate all the persons who would have, in one way or the other, achieved some new tasks. Congratulate all the students who would have started their SBAs and would have submitted some of them for vetting. I got a few for myself, so I say congratulations to you. Congratulations to our teachers too, and that we would have had good health to this point. And we pray that we will continue to give of our best as we step forward in this new year. All right, at this time, I am going to call upon our principal to just give us a few words before we get into other matters. Mr. Wellington.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Martin. Good afternoon, parents and students. Thanks very much for joining us. Just a reminder that we have devotional exercise at 8:30 tomorrow morning and PTA for our parents. I won't be very long, won't say much here. We actually have to use this platform in another 45 minutes for another meeting. So I will not say much other than welcome back to the start of another school year. I'm a little disappointed that I only see 200 persons on in the meeting, bearing in mind that 1, we are going through a lockdown. So it means that almost everyone is at home. And 2, these are grade 11 students in their final few months of school, and therefore would be expecting them to be here to have these discussions as we return to classes. So welcome back, and we will have a lot of time tomorrow morning for devotions and to have discussions as it relates to back to school for our grades 10 and 11. Thank you very much, Mrs. Martin.
Thank you very much, sir. And in the interest of time, we are just going to use some time just to remind ourselves and to remind you as parents of some of the duties and responsibilities that we have to carry out in this year, considering that this is an exam year for our students, and we have to start good preparation from day 1. At least the preparation would have started from grade 10, and those persons or those students who would not have done as well and as much as they should have will have to take on extra work and make sure that they make use of the time that they have. So many of them may have to go back and revisit those classes that were taught, read over the material that was posted by their teachers, so that they can move on and be grounded in the first part of the CXC syllabus. The more they know, the better it will be at their chances to succeed, because at the end of the day, our teachers can do so much and no more. So we are going to crave your indulgence and support as parents to get them through. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Nash, one of our coordinators, just to speak about accountability as it relates to the exams, assignment submissions, and their class attendance. Mr. Nash. Mr. Nash, if you're on, you can just. All right, so while Mr. Nash, if you're there, you can just unmute and go ahead.
Doesn't appear as if he's on, Miss. Probably got kicked off.
I'm seeing him, sir.
I've seen him? Oh.
But he's not muted. He's unmuted. He's muted.
He can unmute himself or raise his hand. Let me unmute him. Okay.
Mr. Nash, you can unmute or raise your hand.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Wellington. I'm unmuted. Just want to say good afternoon to the parents and students and teachers on a whole. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Okay, yeah, so good afternoon. And I just want to welcome back the students to this another crucial year. As we know, it's good to see you guys have now reached 11th grade. As some of you may recall that I was your grade coordinator in grade 7. So we have come a long way. And for some of you, it may seem as if you would have just jumped from what, 8th grade straight into 11th grade due to the fact that you were actually online for most of the time, right? So we know the difficulties with the online teaching and the whole online learning. And some students would have expressed to me the fact that they just cannot learn online. And we know the difficulties. Myself, I would rather be face-to-face, but this is what is dealt to us, so we have to now make the best use of it, right? And as was said by Mrs. Martin, this is our final year, right? And we have to just actually persevere and do our best, right? And what I want to tell the students is that you have to find that inner motivation, right? Intrinsic motivation, because it's at points, it doesn't matter how much a person tries to motivate you. If you're not motivated from within, then in a lot of the cases, you're gonna actually fail or falter, right? So let us try and find that inner motivation to actually keep going. Now, as it regards to, let me just speak briefly about CXA exams. Now, for the parents, I would ask you to actually encourage your students to do as best as possible during their class time, because they have the opportunity to actually get subsidy for subjects, right? And I'm not sure of the exact numbers of subjects, but in order to get the subsidy, they may have to maintain a particular percentage, and the percentage is not really high if you look at it. So they have opportunities to actually get these subsidies, right? And if the students can actually work towards this, this will also ease the pressure from you as parents. So encourage your students to actually do well within, your children to actually do well within their class so that they can actually gain these subsidy, right? And students, please remember that you cannot pass a subject at CXC, a subject that requires SBA, if you do not complete your SBA, right? Now, many of you, or I should say all of you, would have started your SBA, right? And some of you would have submitted a part of the SBA, and some of you would have been working on SBA during your summer break, right? So I'm hoping that you would have done well there, and you are on your way to actually maintain and get a high grade in your SBA, so you have a good chance of passing your exam at CXC, right? Now the actual rates and cost of these subjects and entry fees, all of that will be communicated to you at a later date, but soon enough, so that everyone will be prepared as to what they will be required to actually pay for these subjects. So again, as I say, it's a matter of you now doing your best with what is offered to you. And I'm positive that I cannot see the future. But in my mind, I'm positive that there will be some point where we'll be back to face, right? And I'm sure that you guys will be doing well in your CXC exam whenever we are back to face, because some of the difficulty we are facing now in terms of education, only face-to-face classes can actually solve them, right? So as so looking at the SBAs and the CXC exams, let's look at our day-to-day classes, right? Some of the complaints I would have had from teachers is that students, they're not submitting their assignments, right? Or they're not submitting the assignments on time. So they would submit the assignments way out, right? Past the deadline date, right? And in some of these cases, these assignments may have been overlooked because they would have been submitted at a very, very late date. So let us work on submitting our assignments, right? And so that we can achieve the best grade so that we are prepared to do well at the CXC exam. Class attendance, again, some students, it's a matter of communication. What I'm looking here at is communication. Now, if I look on last year, I'm thinking to myself that some of you may have been shy and you're not accustomed to the online platform. So that may be the reason why you would not respond in class. So this year now, we're expecting that you would have adjusted some more and you're more comfortable with the online platform and you would respond in class. But other than responding in class, if you're unable to attend a class, I'm asking that students actually communicate with their teachers, because it cannot be a situation where a student would not have attended class for a very long period and there's no form of communication with your teacher. You can communicate either by a straight call, because I'm sure that every student here would have some form of number for their form teacher. So you can communicate either by a message, a straight call, communicate with the school, leave a message there to say that Garfield Nash is unable to attend classes because of a particular reason, right? It's a matter of communication. So you're not communicating inside the class and you're not communicating outside, right? So I gather that some students may truly have difficulties with accessing the internet, but there must be some way you can actually communicate with the school or with the teacher to let them know that what's the difficulty, why you're unable to be online, right? And again, I also noticed that some students, they're not using the Google Classroom efficiently because there is a method there for you to actually text your teacher, communicate with your teacher, leave a message inside the classroom, and students are not actually doing that, right? So therefore, we need to improve on the communication process so that we can actually know where students are at and what measures need to be taken to actually make their situation better, right? So again, I reiterate communicating with teachers, and this would be some of the complaints I would have had, right? So attending your class, communicating with your teachers, and when it comes towards your 6A exam, please focus on completing your SBAs and seek as much help as possible, right? Because we know the situation and we have to take into account the fact that the difficulty is not just for students and parents. Teachers also have difficulties too. And the more we can work together will make the situation easier for all of us, right? Another thing I'd want to encourage the students to do, and this is based on, remember, we are not new here, it is based on our feedback from last year. It cannot be a case where you're not attending class and whenever if in the next 2 weeks, if we are here online, let's say we're online here for 2 weeks, and then the following 2 weeks we meet face to face, students will be coming to class with absolutely nothing in their book, right? And it must be, and based on what I gather for some of these students, the information is there online and they see it there, but they are not writing anything in their notebook. So it cannot be just that the information is online and you're not able to attend a live class, right? And you're not putting any information in your book, right? So we encourage you that whenever you whenever you're unable to attend the live class, the information is always there online, right? So you need to actually transfer the information to your notebook so that when you come to class, it is not just a case where we have empty notebooks and there is nothing for us to work with, right? So these are just some of the points I want to reiterate based on what we actually saw happening last year. So as Mr. Wellington said, there will be a number of things that will be discussed tomorrow morning. So we can actually take a break here and move on to other issues. Ms. Martin?
Thank you very much, Mr. Nash. And I trust that we made note of some of those concerns and observations that we had last year. And we must improve on them in order for us to make sure that, we get a successful year going. Another important issue is that of record keeping. Now, Mr. Nash spoke about student attendance. Whether or not the form teacher will post a register each morning in the Google Classroom for them to mark their names. That's in their form class. The subject teachers will also post a register in the subject that they're doing. So the math teacher would place a register there for all the math students of Pool B to mark their names. It does not mean that because they mark the form register, they're automatically present in the math class. So students, you must mark both the form attendance and your subject attendance. And we're going to ask the parents too to insist on them marking the attendance, because it is going to affect your attendance records, which is going to affect your graduation points. So I am going to ask you, please make sure that you pay attention to that, especially those persons who are on path. It is important to remember that it's 3 days. And if it is that you are absent for whatever reason, you must find a way to communicate with the form teacher and subject teacher, as Mr. Nash spoke to earlier. All right. There are some issues that some students would have pointed out, and internet issue is a cry for everybody, both teachers and students. But there are times when, even if you can buy a plan, log into the class when you can. So you're not totally left behind and you fold your arms and say that you didn't have internet access, so you're going to be left behind. The teachers will work with you, but you have to do your part so that we can get through, all right? As Mr. Nash says, communication is important, extremely important, especially in this time. So you're having a difficulty, reach out to us. Reach out to your parents and they will get to us. Mr. Cogley is always available. The coordinators are available. We have our parent groups, your form teachers, your subject teachers. So there are many avenues in which you can reach out to us for help.
Just to interject, Mrs. Martin. But saying that even if you cannot reach a teacher, but you have a friend who is able to reach the teacher, then you can actually communicate to the teacher via your friend.
Correct. So there are many ways in which you can get out to us. So please use the avenues that are available to you. All right. Say on that same matter of record keeping and discipline, we're going to ask Mr. McKenzie, if he's online, just to remind us a few pointers of how we conduct ourselves while we are online and the general decorum that we expect of you as students. So it's just a reminder. I know you would have heard them before, but we are just reminding you so we don't have any incidents of any unpleasantries this year. Mr. McKenzie? Could you unmute, sir?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, grade 11, to your ultimate year, the final year in this aspect of high school. Want to wish you all the best for your CXCs, your upcoming exams. And we know that you will, if you put out the effort, you can find success. Now, as you know, based on the environment that we're operating in, it is new, it's challenging. And so just want to provide you with some reminders, and for some of you, it might seem new, but just in relation to the online space, one, want you to remember that you need to treat each other with respect. Remember, what you say can easily hurt or be hurtful or being disrespectful, right? And it's sometimes easier for us to disrespect somebody when they're not face-to-face with us. So you need to be careful of how you treat others. If you wouldn't say it to someone's face, then likely you shouldn't say it online either. There are times in terms of the use of the language in the classroom or Google Meet rooms, what is happening is that you might find that individuals might choose to display images, or their method of communication, they might choose to be swearing, cursing, or using abusive language. We're encouraging you not to do so. It's rude and it will not be tolerated. And it's very important too that you think before you type, bearing in mind that oftentimes what you put online is out there permanently, right? And oftentimes what you might say in private, it easily becomes public. So please bear this in mind. The sharing of inappropriate material, be it privately or otherwise, is inappropriate, right? This may include offensive, obscene, or indecent images, sounds, data, or other material that might cause harm to one's reputation. And oftentimes you see on the internet where individuals take someone's image, animate it, and use different things to create humor for themselves and for others while causing embarrassment. This is something that you really don't want to be involved in any at all. We know that it's very, very important for you to be able to complete your assignments and be overemphasized. And so there are times you'll come across various challenges in order to do so. Please, students, as has been emphasized already, make contact with your teachers, be respectful too of their space. So you don't want to be messaging them too late. And also you want to keep your messages to them within the work days, right? Monday to Friday of each week, unless it is that the teacher indicates that they don't have a challenge or a problem with you messaging them otherwise. When you also get online, it's also good that you show your face, right? So that we're able to see what you look like, right? So for some of you wonder what Mr. might look like now. Here I am, right? This is what I look like. Now, it offers a sort of validation for us as teachers when we're able to see your face. You might not be able to keep on your video for the entire time, but at least when you get online, let the teacher know that you're there, you greet your classmates, greet the teacher, and at least turn on your camera so that whenever possible, so that we're able to see you and we're able to have that kind of interaction. All right, those are the general things that I want to provide you with at this time. And just to inform you that we will have the policy document placed in your classrooms so you can review them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mackenzie, our Dean of Discipline. And I trust that we would have noted some of those reminders and we will practice them. All right. At this time, I just want to remind us that yes, we will have to work as a team, and not only amongst our parents, but remember our teachers and teachers within our own departments. We will have to work as a team in order to get through. So at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Gooden to share with us a little inspiration as to how we'll stay motivated and how we can get you to be motivated. All right, so Mr. Gooden, you're on. Mr. Gooden?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me, miss?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Thank you very much for the invite. Just want to add before I go into the presentation, my fair share of welcome to everyone. It has been a tough one for most persons. Some persons find it challenging to sit around a computer for days doing classes and so on. But nevertheless, we have to use what is available, and what is available now is the method of face-to-face. Parents that are online as well, I laud you for your efforts of being committed to the cause and sticking with your child or children during the education process, right? So thank you for your support over the years. We have them last year in grade 10. We know the challenges that they face individually and collectively. And so for those parents who are standing behind the kids and pushing them, motivating them, that in itself is good for the system that we're trying to enroll here. With that said, just want to quickly share a little motivational session, I deem it. And the theme I want to look at, it says here, keep focus in the face of challenges. Keep focus in the face of challenges. And I want to break down two important words in that theme, and the word being focus and the other being challenges. Now, quickly research by definition, focus means the act of directing one's full attention to a given target despite any surrounding distractions. Let me say that again. So focus means it's the act of directing one's full attention to a given target despite any surrounding distractions. While challenge itself means it's a situation or a fight to decide who is superior in terms of ability or strength. Right? So a challenge is always going to be a fight to decide who is superior in terms of ability or strength. So when you coin the term keep focus in the face of challenge, you're really talking about you looking at a target, keeping your eyes on that prize despite what is happening left, right, and center. You just keep your blinders on and you look squarely on the target ahead. You might be asking yourself, so Mr. Good, what is the target now? Well, I'll tell you, you've successfully done 4 years of high school education, high school learning, and the challenge now is for you to finish strong. That is the challenge, despite all that is happening around you. All that is happening in the media, all that is happening at home, all that is happening personal to you, the challenge is to finish strong. And so you have to focus. And with that said, I want to just lead right into a passage I found online. I found very informative and relatable to what we're talking about here. And the title of that passage says, Job and his friends, right? Most of us would have heard about the character from the Bible called Job. And the passage says here, who can say that they have suffered more than Job did? Not anyone I know. God allowed Satan to buffet Job to such a degree that he started to despair even of life and the day of his birth. But don't be too hard on Job. Here's why. His friends accused him of sin. His wife told him to curse God and die. And Job never found out the reason why God allowed him to suffer so much loss. In fact, he lost his children. All his children died. Parents, just imagine we're going through a tough time, but God forbid you had only one child and you lost that child due to the craziness that is going on around us in the world. Speaking specifically of the virus, right? Job lost all his children. That's a challenge. He lost his wealth. For those of you who lost your job during this time, just imagine if you still had that source of income coming in, right? Job lost his health, his wealth, sorry. He also lost his health. So many persons are losing their health now as a result of what is happening around us. And maybe you have been touched personally, or somebody close by you have lost their health due to what is happening around us, right? Job lost his health just the same. He lost his crops, he lost his livelihood, and even the relationship of his wife and best friends who turn on him and accuse him of suffering because of his sin. You know, the funny thing is in life, sometimes you're going through some tough situation and person will have it to say it's because of what you did wrong, or because of your past, or because of whatever you were involved in that's now playing out in front of you. When the truth is, you may just be going through a genuine challenge, a genuine test to see how focused you are on that prize and that target that you set your mind on. Students, your prize, your target have to be at the end of grade 11, you would have successfully become a well-rounded individual, not just talking about academia, but all aspects of a well-rounded individual. You'd have attained that despite, again, the challenges you are facing individually as well as collectively, right? So his friends were blaming him that, listen, what is happening to you as a result of your past, it's as a result of the sins that you're battling up or hiding. Job felt like he was God's enemy due to his suffering. And that's according to Job chapter 13, 23 to 24. And started to complain to God about his condition. How many times have we complained that, God, why is this happening to me? Why this happening to such and such a person? I'm a good person. Why me? Why me? Right? Sometimes that's the question we ask God. Why me? When you should really put out a knot in the middle. Why not me? If you're being tested for a reason, obviously you're being prepared for a battle. Right? No one knows what's ahead in the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. No one knows. But if you're going through a battle now, just enjoy the battle, knowing it's training for the real war that is out there. Yes? Right? So Job struggled, right? Job really struggled with his suffering. In fact, at one point in the scripture, Job 10 verse 1 to 4, he said, I hate my very life. Therefore, I will give free rein to my complaint and speak out in the bitterness of my soul. In other words, Job is saying, listen, boy, I'm fed up of this thing. You know? I'm just going to talk, come to my mind, I'm going to curse out some people, and I'm going to curse God as well. I can't bother with this anymore. It's too much to bear. Right? And Job became bitter. He went on to say, I say to God, do not declare me guilty, but tell me what charges you have against me. Does it please you to oppress me? Does it spurn the work of my hands while you smile on the plans of the wicked? So sometimes we look at ourselves and say, boy, how him or how this person does so much bad and wrongs, and they're the ones prospering. And it looks as if everything is good on the outside for them, but truly you don't know what is happening on the inside. Right? So don't be so bold and so fresh to be arguing with Christ, even when you're going through your challenges. Embrace the challenge, knowing you've been prepared for a greater battle ahead. And the question is asked here, it says, have you felt this too? You don't have to answer, you don't even have to type in the chat. But the question is, have you ever felt as if you have been defeated by the test that you're going through? You don't have to answer. That's an internal and personal question for you. But that is the question, have you felt this way too? Can't bother anymore, it's too much, this online thing, it's whatever I'm going through, it's just too much for me, I'm giving up, I'm gonna curse out who needs to be cursed, so I just start to blame and point fingers outwardly. Have you felt this way too? Again, you don't have to answer that outwardly. Have you asked these same questions? If so, you are not alone. God understands. He knows our frame and that we are all frail, feeble, weak, and made of dust. That's Psalms 103 verse 14. We're made from dust, and from dust we shall return. It is okay to question God and to doubt him, but we don't need to stay there. See, as human beings, we have a great mind, and questions will pop up in our minds, and we want to ask questions even to God. It's okay. It's okay to ask God questions, but let's not dwell on the situation at present, always looking forward. Because again, I said the theme is focus in the face of challenges. So don't just look at what is happening around you just now, but focus in the face of challenges. Put your blinders on, the distractions left and right, just look ahead, just like a horse in a race would do. Look straight ahead, right? However, after God answered Job, in Job chapter 38 and 39, he repented, he turned away from asking these foolish questions and being upfront and so on with God, and was humble before God. And that was a passage I found very appropriate to the theme I have here, keep focus in the face of challenges. And just below that, I want to say a few quick words just to add to that. You see, there are some laws that we cannot We may not be able to clearly understand these laws, but it does not mean that they don't exist. Let me give you an example. There's a law known as the law of gravity. Physics person who love physics, you might clear this one. If you throw a ball in the air, it doesn't matter how high you throw the ball in the air within the Earth's atmosphere, it will come down. That's the law of gravity. You may not be able to explain it, but that's a universal law. You cannot come back. If you throw a ball in the air, it will come down. Law of gravity again, if you go into a high-rise building and you step out of that building, sure enough, you're gonna fall to the ground. That's the law of gravity, right? There are the laws that we may not pay attention to, such as the law of attraction. What do I mean by this? What you focus on will multiply. You see, if you're the type of person who's always focusing on the negative and the bad things, then you're gonna get more of what you focus on, because what you focus on multiplies. Would you believe me if I say to you that there are persons in the world that may not even know that there's a pandemic going on? Might sound stupid, might sound silly, but there might be persons in the world that don't know that we're going through a global pandemic. I might say to myself, you might say to yourself, this man is crazy. What is he talking about? The law of attraction is real, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you want to believe it or understand it or not, just like the law of gravity, it is real. What you focus on will multiply. So then what should you focus on? Again, focus on the target. You have come this far, you've expended 4 years in the system, you've come this far, finish strong. The law of energy is the next law that we may not know or understand, but the law of energy is also real. Physics will tell you again that if you exert a certain amount of pressure on something, it will exert back the same amount of pressure on you. We're not gonna go into those laws, but just letting you know that what you focus on multiply. That said, I'm gonna charge you to be thankful for what you have. You might say to yourself, sir, what do I have? You have an internet. The fact that you're online here, it means you have an internet connection. There are persons who may not be able to join this meeting because they don't have an internet connection. Be thankful for what you have. Focus on what you have and be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for opportunities. What opportunities? There are persons in your age group and even younger that does not have the opportunity to be educated, whether by will or by force or by otherwise. They don't have the opportunity to receive information and be knowledgeable and learn as you are learning now. Be me this platform, face-to-face or online. Be thankful for the opportunity. Be thankful for your health. For those of you that went through and is going through this whole phase of our lifetime and you're still remaining healthy, be thankful for that. Might take it very simple, but be thankful for that. Be thankful to have a conscience, thinking of others. Be thankful for that. Be thankful for shelter. Be thankful for even a very smart device. The fact you're online here, it means you have a smart device, whether it be a laptop, a tablet, a cell phone, whatever the case is. Be thankful for these little things, right? Because when you do a reality check, the truth is your challenges are minuscule in compared to what some less fortunate persons are going through right now. Things you have, other persons don't have it. So the challenges that you face, they are small in comparison to what some persons are going through. And the last word I'll leave with, my departing words to you today will be this. It's a thought I want you to think about for the rest of the week and also for the rest of the term. And the thought says, my 10D, my 11D students will know that at the end of every devotion, I give them a thought. And I'm gonna charge you with this thought. The thought says, biggest nation in the world is determination. It's not USA, it's not China, it's not Japan, it's not Australia, it's not Jamaica. The biggest nation in the world is determination. The biggest nation in the world is determination. If you come from that nation, trust me, you can move mountains. They say the sky is the limit, but you'll go beyond and above that. So ladies and gentlemen, again, the thought is, keep focus in the face of challenges. Many as they may be, keep focus. The end game is close and the end is nigh. With that said, Ms. Martin, I want to turn back to you and ask that everybody have a good, productive, and a peaceful and a safe day as well. Ms. Martin.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gooden. That was so inspiring, and I trust that our parents and our students and also us as teachers would have found something to hang on, something to give thanks go. And I pray that we will continue. And even for those of us that would have known about the law of gravity and all of the others, we need to practice the law of attraction so that during this time, we attract the positive things and think positively of getting through this pandemic with our health and also helping our students to accomplish their goals. All right, thank you again, Mr. Gooden, our form teacher from 11D. All right. At this time, I will open the floor for any of our teachers to state what problems they would have had during the grade 11, the grade 10 process, any advice you have for our students going forward, and how you would we would go about reaching them to get them to complete their SBAs. I know some teachers would have started their SBAs already. We just want to give them some heads up as to what is going to be expected from them.
Mrs. Martin, I think,
yes, sir.
I think we only have about 4 minutes left on the platform. So I'm not sure that we have that amount of time. I know Mr. Koga wants to say something, and let me just add a few pieces of information. First of all, tomorrow morning at 8:30, we have devotions for our grades 10 and 11, and then we will have an hour put aside for discussion. So just for grades 10 and 11, we have an hour put aside for discussions, so we can answer a lot of the questions tomorrow, right after our devotional exercise. So we unfortunately may not get the chance to have all of these discussions today, but we will have those discussions tomorrow. Just to add as well, I'm sure it's parents and students are asking when is it they start their classes. We would have had the meetings today with grades 10 and 11. We have our devotional exercise tomorrow morning. And by tomorrow, your teachers will start to engage you on in your Google Classrooms. So they will start to indicate the schedule for you to have classes. For grade 11, it's important that you hit the ground running. So you already know what your subjects are, who your teachers are, what is it you're aiming for in terms of exams. And so your teachers will start meeting with you and start getting you to start doing some of preparatory work, including the SBAs. Just to say as well that Mrs. Hollis tomorrow will speak about exams, payment of exams and fees and so on. In terms of face-to-face classes, the priority is always going to be for you to return to face-to-face classes first. So whatever is happening, it is always going to be that grade 11s will come back to face-to-face classes first. Right now, the government does not want to resume face-to-face classes unless students are vaccinated. So they are pushing for our student population to be vaccinated. And what they have said to us is that they are going to review on the 20th of September. They are going to review the vaccination data to see how many students have been vaccinated. What they will do is that they will allow schools to return to face-to-face, where 65% of their student population is vaccinated. So for us, we have roughly 1,800 students, which means that in order for us to resume, we are looking at close to what 180 times 6.5 would be 616, 1,800, 1,270. It means that for us to resume face-to-face classes, we need to get 1,270 of our students vaccinated. All right, so I am encouraging students and parents to get the vaccination, get the vaccine. There are a number of sites that are a bit open. Even now during the lockdown, you can go to the different sites and we will continue to post the information once it becomes available to us. We are also trying to make arrangements for the school to be a vaccination site for our students and parents. All right, so by the middle of the week, we should be able to share information on that. But again, sorry for the rush, but we had some issues this morning. We wanted to have this meeting on Google Classroom, but it would not accommodate all of us. So we had to switch to Zoom, but we have a meeting at 2 with outsiders, with external persons, and we do not want them to wait. All right, Mrs. Martin? Mr. Kogan,
Okay.
do you still want to say? don't know if Mr. Kogo
All
wanted to say something, Mrs. Martin.
Yes, Mr. Wellington.
So go ahead.
Yes, just quickly. Good afternoon, everyone. For the grade 11 students, read the book room. We would need the volume 1 for your maths book. And we are asking if you could come to school on Thursday, return those maths book, and pick up your volume 2. And if there's any other textbooks that you did not get in, maybe you can find it in the book room at this time. So I'm just going to encourage the students to come out on Thursday to return their volume 1 maths book so the grade 10s can get it, and pick up your volume 2. As it relates to the reports, we'll say more about that in tomorrow's meeting. Thank you.
All right. All right, so just by one second, one last thing from me, Mrs. Martin. I hope that there's no burning question that can't wait until tomorrow. But if there's absolutely something that cannot wait, you could also type it in the WhatsApp group and we'll respond. And remember, parents, that all parents should be in a WhatsApp group for grade 11 students. So if you're not in that WhatsApp group, you need to type your name and number now in the chat, in this chat here, to indicate that you're not in the WhatsApp group. All right, so if you're not in the WhatsApp group, type your name and number so that we can add you to the WhatsApp group, because we want all to be able to have dialogue with all our parents throughout the year. All right. Yes, Mrs. Martin. Mrs. Martin, you can go ahead now.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Kogo. Parents, that notice I will put in your parent group so you can have that there. I just want to say thank you to all our teachers and our presenters. Thank you very much, sir, for accommodating us and having this meeting to start us off. We pray that the students will make the best of the opportunities that we have here. There are many, many students from other schools who don't have the privileges that we have and have not covered as much as of the syllabus at grade 10 as we have. So please, students, work with us and just keep focused, as Mr. Gooden had indicated, and we will get through this together. We have Mr. Wellington and the rest of the administration who is willing and does everything for us to make sure that we give everything that's possible and give up our best. So please continue to support us as a school parents, and we are here for you. Please remember to write your names and numbers in the chat. Not the students' numbers, please, the parents' numbers. Thank you very much, sir, and I turn back over to you. Thank you to my coordinators, Miss Senior, Mr. Nash, and Mr. Mackenzie. Thank you very much, sir, for your reminders.
All right, so just
Wish
one
you
question.
all the best.
Just one question from Kisania. Fairweather, that's the only question we take. She says it's a burning question, so let me ask. Kisania, go ahead. Unmute and go ahead. Kisania, Miss Fairweather. All right, so Kisania has lowered her hand. All right, so Kisania doesn't want to speak because we are giving her permission to unmute and she isn't. So parents, thank you very much. And again, please remember that we meet tomorrow morning at 8:30 via Zoom. So the link will be shared in the WhatsApp group and in the Google grade 11 Google Classroom so that you can join us for devotions and for our PTA meeting. Thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone.